Hi, I'm Bhuvanesh and I welcome you all to the latest episode of This Changed My Life, the Hindu's latest podcast offering in which the guests speak to us about a moment, an idea, a place, or a person that transformed their lives forever. Today we have with us actor Regena Cassandrra, a performer known for her scene-stealing turns in films such as Siva Manaslo Shruti, Kedibilla Kiladi Ranga, Subramaniam for Sale, Managaram, Mugir, Ninjam Marapadillai, Vida Muyarchi, and more. And I'm very excited to talk to Regena because she's a film personality who eloquently puts forth her thoughts and knows how to hold a conversation.
Growing up, again, like just vada and tea, vada and coffee sort of a situation, like one nice molaga bhaji types or one valaka bhaji or something like that. But anything South Indian, I would gravitate towards. One of the only ways most of us can help today is donation. But when you donate, you want to know, is it going, who is it going to? Is it going to the right person? Do you have a start to end this thing of understanding, or what is it? You don't. Jan 2022, I think, Jan 1st, this Telugu song of mine released, okay? The only item song I've done in my career.
It's an Acharya, I mean.
Yes, it's an Acharya. It's called Sana Kashtam. Also, my trailer for Rocket Boys released. It was so interesting for me. I was the happiest person. If I have to think of it, imagination can go wild. Maybe an extraterrestrial animal.
Wow, that escalated very quick. A superpower you wish you had.
Growing up, I always wanted to be able to read people's minds.
Wow.
Always.
Okay.
But then after I grew up, I realized you don't need to read their minds. It's just their behavior that can tell you everything. To be at many different places at the same time, I would love it. It would make my life and everyone else's life around easier. So yeah, to be at like maybe 10 places at one time. If I could design my superpower, then I'll say, yeah, you give me 10
So
places.
basically, it's not even teleportation. It's you who has to be in different places. Wow. Someone should make a superhero film. Hey Regina, welcome to the Hindus This Changed My Life podcast. So how has the energy been of late?
Hi Bhuvanesh, firstly thank you for having me on this podcast. Actually, I just celebrated 20 years of me being in the industry.
Yeah.
That in itself feels very different because me as a person, growing up I've been very hard on myself. So celebrations don't come very easy, but I feel like that has now changed, and I think because of the onset of people in my life, and you tend to learn and unlearn things. I think this year has been a lot about unlearning a lot of things and going out of my comfort zone, or let's say the boxes that I have put myself into, saying I am this sort of a person and I am that sort of a person. That has probably changed this year. I think it also comes with age.
Right.
I think everything put together, I feel like this year has been very instrumental. This year would be very instrumental in paving my future. So
Right. And at the time of doing this interview, there's a cyclonic storm that's approaching Tamil Nadu. And while that shows our commitment to doing this interview,
yeah, to work.
I do want to ask you, is that like a comfort food that you gravitate towards, like, when, or like a food that you crave when it rains and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. When I was younger, I romanticized the rains, okay, like properly. So when I was younger, I would not have the opportunity to drink tea or coffee very often. So when it rains, I would imagine myself reading a Mills and Boon's novel, drinking tea or hot chocolate for some reason. But growing up, again, like just vada and tea, vada and coffee sort of a situation when it rains, or bhaji, like one nice molaga bhaji types or one valaka bhaji or something like that. But anything South Indian, I would gravitate towards.
Wonderful. And like you mentioned, it's also you're completing 20 years as a actor in films, right?
Yeah.
20 years ago, Kanda, Naal, Mudhal released.
Yeah.
It seems like 20 years is a lot of time.
It's just
right?
gone by in a flash.
Yeah. So how
Not
do you
really
even process this milestone, like 20 years in a career, in a film career? That it shows your longevity as an actor, sure, but how do you process that milestone itself?
Honestly, it has been a real roller coaster, and I'm just very happy that 20 years later, I'm still doing something that I started off doing without thinking that I want to do this for so long. That in itself for me feels really I mean, like I believe in science, and I believe in the universe, and I believe in energies and all of that. And I feel like somewhere, somehow, I believe in manifestations as well. I've seen it work with people, and for people who it's worked, I've seen people talk about it, and I know I have also been someone who's tried to do it consciously, manifest and see it. So when you do all of these things, and when you've had 20 years of you've gone through this, and you actually look back, it's nice to see, okay, yeah, maybe this worked because the thought started off 10 years ago, and I've been resilient with that thought,
Right.
persevered with that thought, not every day persevered with it. Some days have been very bad days, low days, but you take all of that into consideration, the good days, the bad days, and the ugly days as well. And it's beautiful because I can now sit back and say, yeah, on those ugly days, I just let them pass, because the sun still rises, the sun still sets. There was this one time where you have to bring yourself to the present sometimes, I feel like, and all of this has helped me do that.
Right.
Be more aware of the present, more than hyperventilate or become anxious about my future or my past. I feel like all of that 20 years, if I have to bring it on amalgamation, it has made me sit and be very present
Right.
of that moment.
Right.
So even though 20 years have passed, I still feel like this now for me means a lot. The fact that I'm able to sit here and I do this interview with you and actually talk about it and make something off of it. Like, I mean, I could have very easily just let the 20 years slide by, and the people around me could have also done it. But I'm so grateful for the fact that I have people around me who want to celebrate me being in the industry for 20 years. It took me some time to wrap my head around that. The fact that people are actually talking about me being here for 20 years. But now I'm very happy and very content in the space that I am.
There's a lot to speak about the milestone as well as your film career, but for the purpose of this podcast, if you have to pick an idea, a moment, a place, or a person that transformed your life forever, what would that be?
I think my mother.
Okay.
Because given the circumstances that I was either brought into this world, or I'm still here today, is because of the opportunities that she gave me as a single parent. It was not easy for her, and I think I'm very well aware of it. And today, being a woman in this world at this age, I understand what all she could have gone through. Uh, she had a daughter to take care of as a single mother, and it's not easy. So I think if there's one person who's transformed my life, it has to be her. I don't think anyone else can get the credit.
Actually, that your early life is something that I couldn't research a lot more about. On the web, nothing's available on the web. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you say that?
I'm glad you found nothing about my early life on the web, because I've not been very open about it either. Maybe no one has ever been interested enough to ask me.
Right.
What do you want to know about my early life?
Like, especially, I mean, you mentioned that how your mother raised you, and stuff like that. Can you elaborate a bit more about why? How did it change your life so much?
Like I said, my mom was a single parent for the first 10 years of my life. She brought me up by herself. In Chennai, I was born and brought up in Chennai. Studied in Lady Andal. Did my schooling in Lady Andal all throughout. And my mom was she was very aware of the fact that she was a single parent of a girl child, so it was not easy on her at all. But she gave me a ton of opportunities, put me in one of the best schools in Chennai back then. In fact, a lot of people asked her why co-education for me. Lady Andal is a co-ed school. And the only thing she was very bold in her choice of words. So she said the world is not made up of only men or women, and I want my daughter to know how to stand in the world tomorrow. And if you go to a girls' school, and I've seen that happen when I was in school, when a lot of the girl students were coming into our school in the 11th and 12th, it was very different. They didn't really know how to behave around boys. So that was her outlook towards this. She enrolled me in Bharatanatyam classes because she did her Arangetram when I was around 3 or 4. And I fell in love with the arts because of her. I watched her do all of this. And I played basketball for school. And then I think when I was 9 years old, I had the opportunity to do ads and, come on television, and I then anchored for a children's channel when I was 9 called Splash TV. A lot of the 90s kids in Chennai will probably remember it. I was called Sweetie. That's my nickname, by the way.
Okay.
Sweetie is my nickname.
Also heard that right from a young age you always wanted to be someone who is of service. That's
Yeah.
something that I read in a particular interview of
Yeah.
yours. Can you elaborate a bit more as to what that meant?
So ever since I was young, I think compassion is something I developed from a very young age, or maybe I tapped into that quality of mine at a very young age. Again, watching my mom and we have saved or rescued puppies, kittens, calves, crows, sparrows, anything and everything that we saw, squirrels. I've have had pet squirrels, like a couple of times at home. So we used to do a lot of this when I was young, and my mom's a very emotional person. She's an empath. So doing all of this, I feel like I don't know, like I grew up with that whole thing, that wanting to give or wanting to be there,
Right.
something like that. And when it came to choice of profession or career that I had to choose, I think somewhere in the 7th or 8th I decided I want to be a doctor, and that to an army doctor. Like, I went to the extent of, like, I told you, I romanticized half the things in my life. So and that's what I wanted to do. But my mom made it very clear to me. She sat me down and she's like, told me I have to think practically. She said, by the time you finish medicine and you do this, it's a long road. Are you sure you're going to take it? And I really didn't think that I had it in me to take all of that. And that's when I think psychology came in play. So it was always something to do with helping people, or being of some sort of service or help. And I don't know why. Maybe it's an innate feeling that I've had, that I've always wanted to be of service. I feel like that is probably my purpose in life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that also reflects on the social work that you do, right? Like, if I have to sort of mention a few of the work that you do, you're the Goodwill Ambassador of Tiara Hemophilia and Cancer Foundation.
Yeah.
You're a co-founder of Democratic Sangha, a non-partisan social reform organization that's working towards democratic values. You also partnered with Race to Win Foundation to renovate Anganwadi centers, and you're also, you're also a supporter and advocate of organic farming and stuff like that. So it's a lot, right? So I mean, I can really see an empath in you. Can you tell me a little bit more about these functions that you do, these roles that you play?
In the different NGOs, see, I think from when I started acting and when I started doing Telugu films, there were a lot of people in Hyderabad who, there are a ton of NGOs today. I mean, like, so many. Everyone's doing something that's so good. But I was approached by many people to join their NGOs and be a part of it. But unless I vetted it and unless I was very sure of who I'm working with, I would never do it. And then I think back in 2012 and 13, Aditya Mehta had approached me to be a part of the Aditya Mehta Foundation. I'm a trustee at the Aditya Mehta Foundation. He works with para athletes.
Okay.
And so this man was an able-bodied person up until maybe 12 to 14 years ago, I think, sometime then, where he lost one limb, and he's an above-knee amputee.
Okay.
And it was very interesting to see how he remodeled his entire life now based on that, one disability of his. And for me, honestly, like, that is beyond anything that I can even imagine, because it's not easy. And when I saw his resilience, and when I saw how he, modeled the NGO and worked so hard to make sure that he fights, even if he had to fight against, the government for certain things, or against anyone, he still stood his ground and fought.
Right.
And he became a cyclist. He cycled for India. He was an Asian champion as well. And then started the NGO, and then now working with not just like with civilians as well, but also with the CRPF and all of that. So he really expanded the NGO quite a bit. And for what? The question was always, for what? So to see people like this and to think that, okay, if I want to be of service and there are people who I can put my trust in and actually help, why not?
Right.
And he has really gone above par with so much. Similarly, my other friend Chaitanya from Hyderabad, he started. He started from a very young age. He won awards as well for being in social work. And he also started something called the Passionate Foundation when he was really young. Moved on to starting another foundation called Teach for Change. Is when I met him when he started this foundation, and just to see how they were working with government schools, giving children the opportunity to learn something extra, and and putting these modules into their syllabus, the ones that they had created, getting volunteers to come and teach these children, basically doing everything at grassroots levels. And it was really interesting to see again that they've been doing this for so many years. And for me, it was so important to see that I know these people will never give up. Like, this foundation is never going to close, because there's so many foundations that start, so many people who want to do good work. Somewhere in the middle, something happens, and internally, whatever, they dissolve it. And I did not want to be a part of something like that. I wanted to make sure that we are resilient enough to see change, because when you open an NGO, when you're doing social work, it's not easy. It's really not easy. Sometimes you'll really be, you might not see work happening for an entire year because you're working so hard, yet nothing is going as per plan, but you can't give up. So that happened. And then there was also another foundation called Life is a Ball. That some friends have started in Chennai. And this is used to take up, at least now they've again reduced it because of manpower and volunteers and stuff. They would give physical education classes to children in the government schools. The corporation schools don't have physical education as a subject. There's no PT classes. So they made sure they gave them, PT classes either before school, after school, or maybe during, if they could get a break. So, I mean, these are the kind of things I really enjoy being a part of. Working with children, bringing awareness, giving them opportunities, because that's what I got. And I enjoy it. And yeah, so that's one thing. And then all of this has now led to, I'm now a co-founder in this NGO called Democratic Sangha. We're a non-partisan organization, and we're still building. We started last year. It's been a year since since the programs we have started have been running now for 1 year. We have one program called the Rural Women's Leadership Program and Young Leaders for Social Change. And we also have another vertical, which is the Change Maker Awards, and we're doing something along with that. But with these two verticals, the Rural Women's Leadership Program and the Young Leaders for Social Change, we're working with the rural women on one side, and we're working with the urban population. We're working with children on the other end to educate and make both aware of maybe their rights, maybe their give them a voice, give them an opportunity, give them everything that maybe you and I also, when we were in school, didn't get. I mean, we have Moon, we have other things that schools incorporate, but I feel like apart from all of this, I feel like children especially need to be given the opportunity for social work. With our Rural Women's Leadership Program, it's so interesting because we have about 11 modules, lessons basically, ranging from different things, right from importance of water to climate change to a lot of things. And we also bringing both our populations together, like both our this thing together, the children and the rural women as well. And what we do with the rural women is that we also at the end of the year, we bring them and help them talk to the collector, get their voices out, make them understand first what their problems are, their issues are, and then how to address it, and then who to address it with. So and it's been successful. The last year that we've had these two programs have been quite successful. This year it has become even better. So I feel like we're on the right path, but it's still very nascent, baby steps. And what we're doing is we're having this Democratic Sangha forum. And we're having a panel discussion where we're having ministers, bringing again both the worlds together. And what we're doing with this forum is we're having the panel and we're having the Changemaker Awards. So we have a panel of judges who select, for that year, uh, people from different walks of life and in different doing different work, whether it is in fashion, or whether it is in social work, or whether it is utilities, anything. Just making a change, putting India on the map, doing something different, whether it's sustainable living, whatever it is, animal welfare, everything. People who actually brought about a change, who actually gone out to voice their, not just voice their opinions actually, but do something about it. So we selected, I think, about 35 to 36 awardees, and December 7th is the forum.
Okay.
And we're going to have all of this happening. So again, we're doing quite a bit. I think it's something that's very interesting because I don't see too many NGOs doing that today. And our main thing is also to bring about awareness during elections and show people like you and me what else that we as citizens of a democracy can actually do, other than just say I don't know who to vote for, so and I must say, like, I've also been there at one point, not really thinking too much about my place as a citizen in this state, in this country. I feel like there's so much power that you and I have that we just don't use because we're so blinded by the things that we are told. And yeah.
Right. See, a lot of people think about doing good for the community, giving something back to the community and stuff like that. But the reality can get so heavy sometimes that, we pass the responsibility to government or to NGOs and stuff like that. I believe it takes a lot of self-awareness and strength to be in the moment and to realize that, listen, you need to do, you need to take a piece of the responsibility also, right? Was there a moment in your life where you strengthen something that happened that sort of strengthened that resolve? Okay, you know what, I need to do this, and no matter what happens, I can't just be acting, I have to do this. Was there like a moment of change that happened sometime?
With regard to Democratic Sangha, I feel like it came at the right time in my life in terms of the age that I'm at.
Okay.
I wish I would have started earlier, paying more attention to these things, because I think it is so important. But I feel like it came at the right time because, I mean, especially in our state, with the scenario, with the political scenario that is happening right now, the stir that has happened in our state. I think a lot of people have now woken up and are actually paying attention, um, for whatever reason, but the fact that they've woken up and they're actually paying attention to these things is nice. It's interesting, because there was really no particular time where I felt like, yeah, I think it's time for me to do this. I feel like everything just fell into place, and when it came to my understanding, when Chaitanya brought this to me, he's the founder of
Right.
Democratic Sangha. When he brought this to me, I felt like, yeah, I think it's time I pulled my socks up and I do something about it. I also want to be. I think I have a lot of education myself. I have lot to educate myself on what's happening in my state and my country. And I think it came at the right time. So there was no time to say, okay, yeah, now or I see this change. The moment it was brought to me, I said, yeah, there's probably a reason why it has come to me. So
Right. Many try to stay away from activism for three major reasons, is what I think. One of the reasons is that they think that they're not well equipped to do it. They think that someone else, maybe the government or someone else will do it. I'm not going to do it. Two, they might think that the world is quite doomed and that, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter to do good. That's the general view that some people have. And third, some people, they wonder if people will judge their philanthropy and stuff like that. These are a few points that any common man who wants to do good might have, which prevents them from doing activism, right? What are your opinions on such things that people think about philanthropy in special?
you're right in a way, but I feel like the main issue, and I've also faced this, every time I wanted to help, I've not known where to go. And or whether and every time I want to know some information, if I have to, you know, write something to the government, it's such a tedious process. Whatever that I have to do, there's a certain way of doing it. Sometimes there's no response. Sometimes it's a long process. Sometimes you don't know how to do it, and by the time you understand how to do it, you've made two mistakes, you've had to go back and do it all over again. So basically I feel like the process and the people doing it, you and I don't know who's doing what. Every time you want to help, and one of the only ways most of us can help today is donation. But when you donate, you want to know, is it going, who is it going to? Is it going to the right person? Do you have a start to end this thing of understanding, or what is it? You don't. So I feel like that is the biggest issue.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
Whether being judged, now being judged is your problem. Whether you say, now if you're being judged for your philanthropy, then you have issues. So you first you if you want to help, you can't say, oh, I'm going to be judged for helping. Then you don't help.
Doesn't matter what
Then,
other things.
yeah,
Right?
So that is something you have to overcome on your own. I don't think most people who help think, oh, am I going to be judged for helping? And if they do, then don't help. But yeah, anyway, the world is doomed. I think that's for everything. Oh my God, I face that all the time. And I tell people, don't litter. The first thing they tell me is, yeah, but look at that. And I'm like, but if you don't do it, the next person will not have to say, look at that.
Yeah.
So the chain has to break somewhere. And I face this all the time. And I face this not just with, when I bring this up, people are like, yeah, education in our country. No. Educated people I have studied with do it. But I shame people. I have done this to random people at the airport also. There was this maybe 10 years ago, this man, suit, everything, took his coffee and was actually over a square sort of a dustbin. It was a wooden thing. Put his coffee, put the sugar in his coffee, and just put the sugar packet there and walked away. And I went and tapped the shoulder and I said, you're actually doing it over a dustbin. All you have to do is put it in the dustbin. Yeah. How difficult is that? And he looked at me and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he went and did it. And I don't mind doing it because it's so important to just, I could have said it nicely to him also, but I feel like you have to poke people and make them ashamed of what they were doing because you're not even aware of it. Are you so in your head that you can't look at your environment? I think you need to be the change you want to see. We've heard this so many times. Well equipped, I totally agree. Like sometimes I feel like, oh my God, what do? I don't know where to go. I want to help, but I can't help. And feeling helpless is such a big part of this thing. Sometimes you feel so helpless, but that's all you can do.
Right. Whenever a film personality tries to do help on social media, especially, people are going to ask them the one thing, that is, do these people, film personalities in general, understand that they come with a privilege, right? You've had 20 years in films. Can you recollect a point in which you realize that, okay, listen, just being a film actor automatically brings a certain social pedestal amongst people, right? They automatically want to put you in a pedestal and they're going to question you. They're going to question every action that you do. They're going to question every move. If you're going to, even if you're going to say something good, they're going to think if you have an ulterior motive and stuff like that. At which point did sort of tick in you that, okay, listen, this profession is like this?
From the beginning.
Okay.
From the very beginning, because I am already the kind of person that is very mindful of what I'm saying. I was very, very, right from when I was in school. I think because I was brought up by a single mother and I'm a girl child. Again, my mom instilled in me that I'm very aware when I'm in a public space of what I'm saying and what I'm doing. She's an authoritarian, dictatorial mother. Not a helicopter parent for sure, but she was very strict.
Okay.
Very, very strict. I didn't go to a convent. I didn't study in a convent because home was as good as as good as studying in a convent. Yeah. So I think being mindful of what I'm saying came irrespective of whether I was a public figure or not. And when I was in school also, I had a certain sense of responsibility right from the beginning. And when I was in the 11th and 12th, I was school pupil leader.
Okay.
And it's not head boy, head girl. It's one person at the top, whether girl or boy. It's school pupil leader, assistant school pupil leader. So I did have responsibilities when I was younger as well.
Okay.
Everything I did was scrutinized in school also. And my mom, especially in the 11th and 12th, when they were looking at our prefects and they were looking at nominations for the different leadership roles, Every move of mine was scrutinized. So I think I was pretty much used to it back then itself, and having a mother like mine is pretty much that. So yeah, I think from a very young age I was molded to be responsible with what I say and do.
You.
I guess, yeah, you could say that.
Right. Now I have to ask you something. What does the name Latha ring in you?
So many memories.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the first thing that strikes you?
Because I was okay. The first thing was me being the youngest on set. I was 14.
Yeah.
Okay, and I played this girl who elopes and comes back pregnant, and I have a Valaikapu scene, not just a scene, it's a song. I'm 14. Will I look like I was supposed to look around 20-ish? Will I look it? Will I be it? But they were so nice. The fact that I worked with a female director in my first ever film. Nandini, her assistant director, was the one who would help me tie my belly. I did nothing. I would stand there. They would put my belly. They would put my sari. They would put my. I wore no makeup because PC Sreeram sir didn't like makeup at all. I had like a mustache. I had full grown eyebrows. It brings back a lot of memories.
Right, actually, you know what? Kandra Mudhal was such a sweet film, but your role was quite unconventional. But of course, that time you may not have had a choice in picking up a unconventional roles or unconventional roles. But over the years, you've become someone who, chooses offbeat roles and stuff like that. And now when I look at Regina, I see someone who genuinely loves films. And she's not someone who just looks at it as a job, right? But love goes through a place of evolution, right? Falling out of love is also a part of love and stuff like that. If you're standing here 20 years since your debut, it means that you're still loving films and that love has stayed intact. Can you tell me a bit about how that film lover in you has evolved since that time, since a 14-year-old girl who stepped on the film set to now after 20 years?
Honestly, I never knew I'm going to be here.
Okay.
And do this for so long. There was a time in between where I honestly felt like I am done, because there was a lot. There was a lot coming my way in terms of why I had not reached a certain place after a certain point in my trajectory, why it had plateaued, or why what things were happening, and I had no answers to it. But I feel so blessed today, again sitting here today and saying that I went through ups and downs, and major ups, major downs, and I'm able to still be here. So I guess it's the love, not just for films, it's the love for my job. I really enjoy waking up and deciding how this character is going to look and behave for that particular scene. If I have to break it down, honestly, working on a scene with my team, whether it's my director, whether it's my hairstylist, makeup artist, or with the co-director or the AD, or figuring out dialogues, or reading my scene and adding to it and asking questions, and seeing it translate from paper to screen. I love that process.
Right.
I absolutely enjoy it. And I'm so grateful for the directors who see these unconventional characters in me and see that I can play it, because that had been my biggest challenge. It wasn't a challenge that I had to face in the sense, but it had been my biggest challenge to make sure I don't get molded into one particular character or role. So that is my favorite thing to do, part of my job. Like, I'm not attached to my films, uh, and neither am I attached to anything that I do with work. But just seeing that entire process play out, and my director's vision is so important for me. Like, if my director says I envision it like this, and then we come together a consensus of what the character is going to be, for me it's important that I live up to it.
Okay, but when did that film bug bit you? I mean, like when you're growing up, what were the kind of films that you saw that really inspired you and touched you and sort of?
So I'm not that kind of person that was inspired by films and said I wanted to act.
Yeah, okay.
I enjoyed the process of acting.
So that came first.
Always came there. It was always there. I enjoy the process of expressions, doing different expressions for different characters.
Okay.
So I was not and I feel like most people, I'm glad you asked me that question. No one has actually asked me that question this way.
Okay.
And I've not had to explain it like this to anybody, actually. But it was not me watching films and saying, oh, ஒரு நாள் நான் இப்படிதான் நானும் இந்த மாதிரி படம் பண்ணணும் நானும் இப்படி ஆகணும், oh my god, look at the celebrity status, wow, இப்படி இருந்தா இப்படி இருக்குமான்னு. It was not any of those things at all. It was purely the love for acting, and it still purely is for the love of acting. Like, I'm not a cinema buff where you can, I know so many people around me, and today I see it even more. um, people who have references, like, and most of my friends have a lot of these Tamil references from films that they would just sprout up for in some moment, and I'll be like, huh? And then I'm like, oh my god, yeah, from that film. So I'm not that person.
Okay.
I don't speak cinema. But I think it's just the love for acting and the love. It was always that it was the love for acting that pulled me through anything that I did. I believe, and I think this will be forever. If you give me a role and ask me to do it, I will give it my 100%. Even if I'm not going to get that role or not going to do it or something like that, I will still want to act and see what it's like, or still want to get in the skin of the character.
Okay. But would you still say like you have a favorite, maybe like a filmmaker or a favorite actor in general, like, or do you just not sort of detach away from that world and just you're only focused on the acting?
I do have a lot of favorite filmmakers and actors and stuff like that, but not something that brought me into the industry.
You always said how there was a particular moment after which you realized that you didn't want to be in this rat race, in this career and stuff like that.
I didn't use the word rat race, but you're right.
Okay.
No, you're right, absolutely right.
So, there was this particular film called Mudhal, like, which I really love. It's a beautiful film, but not a lot of people actually know about it. Not enough, I believe. So when you do a film like that, right, you've done it, it's come out, it's out there. The shooting process is done. Now, how do you process what happens to it after that? Like in case of Mudhal, there might have been a certain expectations. It was a very small film, it was a very intimate film and stuff like that. What went into your mind after the release of Mudhal? I mean, just for example purposes, I'm asking you.
So I think like I said, once I'm done with the film, and not in a bad way, I think it's very important for me as a human being to be detached from it, because the outcome of a film is in no one's hands. So to feel bad, or to feel even if a film's a success, I'm still neutral about it. Like, okay, I'm not like, oh my god, yeah, film's a success, now I have to make sure all my films are like this. I don't get into that at all. But again, I think like a film like Mudhal is something I enjoyed doing. Again, like as an actor, working on it, and the story really struck a chord with me, and I wanted to do it. That was irrespective of the child's age or whatever like that. So I think films like this for me are very important. Because again, however a film does is not in my hands, but I know I did a good film. And that's where it ends. I did a good film, I did a good role, I know I lived up, I looked the character, I looked the part, nothing looked odd, and it's a film I will sit and watch tomorrow.
Watching Mudhal was also very heavy for me because I have a pet too, so immediately my thought went to that. I wonder how it is for actors, because quite a people, they speak about the plus of being an actor, which is you get to don a lot of hats and stuff like that. But is there a flip side to it? I mean, do you have to also channelize a part of you in that role, which sort of sometimes it gets a little heavier and stuff?
I think yeah, sometimes, not all the time, not for everything. So not every emotional sad scene that I have played in my career, I have gone into a zone and done it. No, sometimes it's like you write it down and I flow into it, sort of thing. Like I have an idea of probably how I'm going to play it out, and then let the character itself take over, and be and do whatever comes in that moment, right? So not all the time it's heavy, but I knew this story in itself, like in particular Mudhal, I knew that it's a heavy thing. Not just you, I connected with it while reading it itself, while listening to it itself. I knew that when I watch it, whoever has a pet, because of the way it was written, the way the story, the flow was, whoever has a pet or whoever's connected to animals will feel something. And I wanted to be a part of that feeling. It's as simple as that. I wanted to be the person instigating that feeling in someone and saying the story out, or so So that was important for me as an actor. Because I knew as a story, the way Karthik had written the story, the scenes, the dialogues, everything just fell in place organically. It felt like a story that you will see yourself being a part of. So it was important for me as an actor to want to be a part like that of something like that.
So on one hand you do films like Mugir, and the other hand you do films which are commercial in nature, right? In fact, I have to actually mention this one particular film that she did. It's called Jamni Ganesham Surli Rajanu. I freaking love that film. For whatever reasons, I don't know why. In fact, quite recently, I met Mr. Atharva, and Atharva said how he really liked doing that film and how he did not understand why the result did not pan out to be as much. Anyway, coming back to my question, which is that there are two extremes that you're dabbling in, right? Is it a conscious decision? Okay, say I've gotten few projects in these zones. Now let me try to get a rom com. Like, is there a conscious thing that you do while choosing scripts?
Honestly, Bhuvanesh, the last 20 years have been very organic.
Okay.
I have never gone out and said I want to do this film, so let's go and chase this director and say I want to do this film. It has never happened till date.
Okay.
It might happen in the future. I don't know, but so it's never been a conscious decision.
Okay.
I think I've just been blessed to pick, and these roles have come to me. In fact, Jan 2022, I think, New Year, Jan 1st, this Telugu song of mine released, okay? The only item song I've done in my career.
It's an Acharya, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an Acharya. It's called Sana Kashtam. And yeah, okay. So Jan 1st, the song releases. And also my trailer for Rocket Boys release. It was so interesting for me. I was the happiest person only because I had one item song releasing. And I had one Birinalani Sarabai from Rocket Boys releasing, and they're completely different, right? So the actor in me was so happy. Like I was like, wow, I am able to see in front of my eyes these two things. In fact, not just that. I think 1 year before that, Nenja Marpudile released and Chakra released at the same time. Okay, again, completely different characters, completely different looks. I mean, given that Nenja Marpudile released 5 years after it was supposed to release, but the fact that they were completely different looks, and then I saw people send me pictures of two different posters. There's Mariam on one side and Leela on one side, and again, I was damn happy, because there's two different roles, and I get to see them stark difference at the same time. So as an actor, I've had many, as an actor, I've had many moments where I felt so happy and looked at my work and been like, wow, okay, you're doing what you wanted to do. But that's as far as the acting bit in this industry was concerned. As far as everything else was concerned, I'm like that late bloomer of sorts. Or maybe I always thought of myself as that, I don't know. But I never really paid too much attention to my PR or my social media or any of those things, because for me, acting was always, and because I started as a child and I had no mentor in the industry or no one to guide me the right way. I've had managers and they've been really bad. And they've not really done what they've had to do. In fact, done worse. Okay. Hence, everything else about the industry really got to me. And it felt like I was facing a very ugly situation at one point. And it felt like the kind of person and the kind of principles and the values that I grew up with were not aligning with the kind of work I had to do to continue to be an actor in this industry. And I had refused to do anything that did not align with my values or my principles.
Right.
Just to be an actor. I felt like it was not worth it. And I still, till date, think it's not worth it.
So you mentioned Ninja Marpadile, right? I read somewhere that, in fact, in an interview that you gave with to the Hindu, that you mentioned that you were going through a very low phase when Ninja Marpadile was shot, and that, working with the child sort of helped you in capacity. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like I read that, but I wanted to know a bit more as to how that really helped you in that particular.
I think all my gratitude goes to Selva sir.
Okay.
I was going through a very low phase then. I wanted to quit the industry. I was really done with all the noise and the chaos around me. I felt like I just wanted it to stop. And the only way to make it stop was to leave. And my conscious decision was, after Ninja Marpadilai, I'm done working. I mean, I finished all my commitments up until then, and I was done. I didn't know what plan B was, but I was done. Shooting for that film, we were shooting on ECR, and it didn't make sense for me to travel every day and up and down from home to this thing. So my producers got me a place right by shoot, and I stayed there all by myself, alone in like a house. And I would go to shoot every day, come back, and Selva sir made sure. And this is so nice because I love working with directors who give the actors a lot to do in terms of homework and go do this, go do that, do this, do that. I love it.
Okay.
I thrive in such situations. Okay. So he said, listen, you're a nanny in the film, and you have to create a bond with this child. And I love children. Okay. Thankfully, I love children and I love doing this, but it was homework nonetheless. So I was like, yay, ready for day one to do this with the child. And all on day one, I take chocolates, I take toys, I take everything. My first shot, we're starting the first shot, and there's a shot where I bump into SJ Surya and I hold the staircase or the banister, I hold it and I stop. When I did that, I hurt the child.
Okay.
And he started crying. Okay.
Okay.
And he refused to come to me after that. He refused to be there by my side at all. And I panicked. Okay, but then I was like, no, this is a challenge and I'm going to take the challenge. And I think because I had a challenge back then, whatever I was going through, being at work and doing what I had to do just probably made me not even think about everything that was going on in my life. I had a very low, I was pretty low back then, but I think work and working with Selva sir and doing all of this, by the end of this entire process of working with this child, he was sitting in we would sit together in my room every day.
Okay.
Like through shoot. Between breaks, we would be in my room playing with his Spider-Man. I would be feeding him. Like I would feed him every day. I told his mom, you don't touch him at all. He's my child. As long as he's at shoot, he's mine. I fed him. We would dance together. We would play together, irrespective of whether we were shooting or not. And I think that really, really created this bond for me and made me, gave me this different thought on life itself because of work. And I also must say, I should thank Srinivas Avasarala, the director of Joe Achutananda, because as I was shooting for Nenjam Marpidala, like I told you, I decided not to work at all. But this director flew down from Hyderabad and chased me to do his film, which I really liked. I love the story. You should watch that film as well. Okay. It's a slow burner, but it's beautiful. And he wanted me to do the film, like by hook or by crook. And till I said yes, he didn't take no for an answer. So I did the film, and I think working on myself through these two films really helped me gain my trust back, not in the industry, but in myself.
Given your psychology background and how much you like to dabble with characters and stuff like that, I would assume you to be someone who would gradually gravitate towards writing your own characters for some reason. Have you ever thought of it?
I used to write when I was younger.
Okay.
But I'm too critical of myself.
Of your writing?
Of anything that I do.
Okay.
So I would love to write. So when I do characters in itself now also, like I always have like something that I will add my own this thing and then ask my director and then subtract or add minus or take out or add in some more stuff. So I don't know, maybe in the future I would write my own character.
Wonderful.
If any director allows me to.
I mean, not necessarily, right? Writing itself is a process that might give you a lot, in back and stuff.
You
like
write?
That. I do. I do write a lot of fiction on my own.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I do.
So you've written some stories?
Yeah, hopefully again, fingers crossed.
Do you want to direct?
That's a long shot, but.
But you want to be a writer?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's nice. Have you done any, have you?
Nothing, I haven't put out anything yet. I'm currently working on a novel that's what I'm doing right now. Probably sometime in the future.
What genre is it?
It's a magical realistic story.
It's a magical?
Magical realism story.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a fiction magical realism story. Partly autobiographical and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nobody's asked me that question, which I appreciate that.
Of course. I don't think you'd ask unless you're interested also in it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, this is your job. You're doing your job here, but still.
And you're also sort of doing that psychology thing. You're understanding why I asked that question.
Yeah, I think that just happens.
Yeah. Given how many characters you've played, like just the you've played a baddie in Chakra and diametrically opposite film like Vidamuyarchi. I really loved your performance, Vidamuyarchi, by the way. Has it ever happened that a character sort of traveled with you for time beyond that shoot? No?
Never.
It's like Switch on, switch off.
Very switch on, switch. I'm very switch on, switch off.
Okay.
It's very switch on, switch off when it comes to my whatever the character is.
Okay.
You will never see a trace of characters in me at all. Like yeah. I don't know. It's not something that I've done consciously or this thing. If you ask me to say, and it's not in a bad way. Like you'll 100% see if you like my performance in Vedamesh, 100% when I'm working up onto the film. Like we were shooting in Baku, and thankfully, Magir sir gave me my scenes beforehand. Like I'm so grateful if my directors give me my scenes beforehand. Because for me it's about preparation and then getting into the skin, especially for a role like this thing, Deepika in Vedamuichi, or even Leela and Chakra. I sat with Anand, my director, and I said, will she bite her nails when she's doing this, or if she's thinking, stuff like that. So I go down to the itty-gritties in my notes itself. So when I'm doing the role, all of that is just in my head somewhere.
Can you tell me another example like that? That's very interesting. That's what you mentioned about biting nails, kind of a thing. Is there something else like that where you spoke to a director, got a mannerism in that conversation which you somehow channeled into your performance?
Like in Vedamuichi also, it was more of mind games, right? So this woman is having 100 thoughts, but there's only one thought that's coming out, and it's coming out very like fluid, very like smooth. So I would discuss these thoughts with Magil sir, like saying, oh, would she think like this? I don't want to talk about it because it's very explicit thoughts.
Okay.
Because of the character that she was. Character
itself was
like
quite explicit.
In her head she's murdering someone.
Yeah.
In her head she's like stabbing someone and smiling sort of thoughts, And for what joy? Like just joy, So that would have been the thought in her head. And the way it would come out, if you saw it, there'll always be one subtle hint of a smile in her, this thing, like playing you sort of a thing. So that for me, and he made me research dark triad symptoms and people who dark triad this thing, personalities and all of that. What would be this thing, whether it was Machiavellianism or sadism or narcissism or what of that. So even in her look also, like she would have like well done eyebrows. She would look beautiful. She would look, this thing. So yeah, stuff like that.
Is that a role that sort of, you've built in your head? Like, I want this kind of a role, but no director is writing it. Like, I want to do that.
I've actually played some really nice roles, whether it was Nenjam Marpudile.
No, what I mean, of course, you played some great roles. What I mean is, there might be this one particular, like a dream kind of a role, which is like, what, I want this kind of a role. I have not gotten that yet. Something like that.
I want to play a proper badass. Maybe with some nice leather outfits. Maybe a spy. I've not played a proper like a spy thriller sort of a thing.
Okay.
I don't know. I would love to do some kick-ass action.
Right.
I don't know, like that. If I have to think, imagination can go wild. Yeah, maybe an extraterrestrial animal.
Wow, that escalated very quick.
Like that's what I said. My imagination can run wild if allowed to.
So we're coming to a close of 2025. So how has this year particularly been for you?
Amazing.
Okay.
Vedamuichi released this year. Jat released this year. Another film of mine that that I've shot for, and I don't know, hasn't released so long, could possibly release this year.
Okay, which one is that?
I don't know if we should talk about it. Should we talk about it? We'll wait.
Okay.
But it's interesting, the film, the genre that it is. I look so different because it was shot like 5 years ago.
Okay.
4.5, 5 years ago. So, this year has, and in fact, like a film like Jat also was so different for me. I don't know if you've seen the trailer or anything like that. I've never played a commercial villain. I'm a proper commercial villain in this with Sarees.
I mean, you did do Chakra, but...
No, but that's a different commercial villain. Like this is a proper Saree, Mai, Periya Bottu.
Okay, I get it.
And Jada and shouting and
a very loud role.
Yeah, like full loud, like savage loud, sort of a South Indian woman,
Right.
and I don't look it in general. But the fact that my director saw that in me and said, okay, let's do this, because he came to me with a different role. He came to me with the cop role. I mean,
Okay.
if you do watch the film, you'll know.
Okay.
If you watch the trailer, you'll know. Sayami played the
Okay.
cop. He came to me first initially when he was setting actors and stuff. He wanted me to play that role, and I've played enough cops in my life, enough goody two shoes in my life, and I was like, but this role seems more interesting,
Right.
to play. So can I play it? And the fact that he said okay, and then I actually was able to pull it off,
Okay.
Was the biggest thing for me.
Okay, now I'm really excited to watch that.
Yeah, you should. I'm loud, my eyes are wide, and I'm yelling, and I'm ripping people's clothes off.
Wow.
Yeah.
And up next you have Mukutiyamman 2
Yes.
and Section 108 coming
Yeah.
up, right?
Mukutiyamman 2, Section 108, and the wives.
The wives, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. What is, can you tell me a little bit about the wives? I didn't have.
So the wives is this film by Madhur Bhandarkar.
Okay,
Again, it's about the lives of three different wives of Bollywood stars.
okay,
The women in Bollywood as well. So
interesting.
I play one of the superstars' wives, and it's a pretty explicit film. It's quite interesting. I think it's Madhur sir's forte. Like it's like his page 3, his fashion. It's in that zone.
Right.
Heroine, these films of his. It's in that zone. So. And he's not a filmmaker who shies away from portraying certain concepts in his films.
Right.
So I think it's an interesting film that I got to be a part of. I think I'm the only South Indian in that film.
Okay. Right. So before we end this podcast,
And Mukutiyamman 2 as well.
Mukutiyamman 2 for sure.
Again, a film. So again, like you're asking me if these roles that I've not played what I want to play. Again, this is not a role I envision myself playing at all. It's a proper
You're playing
fiction.
another Amman?
No, I'm not. But I'm playing. I think it's an equal this thing of good and bad, right? So yeah, so I'm playing the bad.
Okay.
Ish.
Maybe you get to play an Amman also, maybe in a film.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
I mean, I would love to. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not? If you can play an extraterrestrial thing, if you want to do that.
Yeah,
do it.
and there's an audience for it as well.
Hmm.
And I think I'd be a pretty Aman.
Before we wrap this episode of This Changed My Life, we would like to do a quick rapid fire round with you. Okay. So, first and foremost, most memorable movie experience
Evaru.
ever. Okay. Someone living or dead you would like to have dinner with. Supposed to be rapid fire.
Dr. Brian Wise.
Can you repeat?
Dr. Brian Wise.
Brian Weiss. Okay.
He was a psychiatrist, and he's this an author as well. He wrote the book and many books, subsequent books, Many Lives, Many Masters.
Okay.
Many Masters, Many Lives.
Okay.
And Only Love is Real, and yeah. So he talks about past life regression in his books, and him being a psychiatrist and how his background did not allow for it to happen, all of that. So I find that very interesting. I find past life regression and progression very interesting concepts.
Okay.
So he would be someone I would love to have dinner with.
One quality all actors must learn to have a peaceful career.
Adapting.
Okay.
To change.
Would you like to explain more?
I think with this job, it's so important to be able to adapt to different settings and different people and different ideas and concepts and all of that. You can't be stuck to this is what I can do and this is who I am and this is, you're putting yourself in a box, which I don't think as an actor you should be putting yourself in, as any artist basically.
Right, I understand. A comfort watch you lean on when the going gets tough.
A comfort, okay. Different.
Okay.
Different. It could range from BoJack Horseman to Dexter to
very interesting choices already.
To The Office to, it depends on my mood.
There's no one specific title. Okay.
And sometimes I don't want to absorb anything. So when I want comfort, sometimes it is to cut everything out, basically.
Okay.
So,
Right.
but you asked me about comfort watch, so we keep it at that.
Name a recent piece of art, whether it's a film, book, series, or a game, or any piece of art that touched you very deeply.
There's this book by Louise Hay called Heal Your Life.
Okay.
Uh, I was having certain issues in my personal life, and I had to be reminded of certain things, which the book reminded me of.
Okay. A superpower you wish you had.
Growing up, I always wanted to be able to read people's minds.
Wow.
Always.
Okay.
But then after I grew up, I realized you don't need to read their minds. It's just their behavior that can tell you everything.
Right.
But you need to be attentive.
So now if you had to have a superpower,
To be at many different places at the same time, I would love it. It would make my life and everyone else's life around easier. So yeah, to be at like maybe 10 places at one time. If I could design my superpower, then I'll say yeah, you give me 10
so
places.
basically it's not even teleportation. It's you who has to be in different places. Wow. Someone should make a superhero film.
So then 10 different places, 10 people are not disappointed. I feel like 10 is enough. I don't want to go more also.
Okay. Wonderful. So say you are trapped in an island and you get to eat only one dish for the rest of your life. Which dish is it and why?
Jesus Christ. First of all, I'm trapped on an island. On top of that, you want me to eat only one. At least get me explore. No, anyway, I'm trapped on an island.
But there's only one dish available for whatever reason, and you only get to eat that for the rest of your life.
You don't have to trap me on an island to give me only one dish for the rest of my life. Let me make that very clear. You made it two scenarios. Already I'm trapped on an island. Can't you be kind enough to me to at least let me explore and eat different things from berries from the trees, fish from the sea? You want to give me only one, no?
But see, this is the scenario. This is what I've written. This is what I want to answer.
You're very bad with your characters. Wow. So that means I can make any one dish.
Any particular dish, but you have to stick to it. You only get to eat that for the rest of your life.
It has to be either rasam sadam or sambar sadam. Can at least have that with some chicken 65 types.
Okay, sure.
That can be a dish,
give
right?
some leeway, I guess.
It has to be a full meal at least.
Okay, so rasam rice or sambar rice with chicken 65.
How will that appear on my island?
I don't know. You'd be like air dropped.
Oh, they won't come and rescue me, but they'll drop one.
Yeah.
Some sadistic person will do this to me.
It's not me, but okay.
Yeah.
Your favorite travel destination?
I don't have one particular travel destination.
One favorite travel?
No, I don't have one particular favorite
Okay.
at all. I love traveling.
Okay.
I love experiencing cultures.
Okay. An inspirational quote or an advice that you received for someone that you still follow to this date?
The show must go on.
Okay.
Because I'm in the showbiz.
Hmm.
Whatever happens, the show will go on.
Right. And finally, your resolution for 2026?
I don't have a resolution, but I've vowed and I've made promises to the people I work with that I am going to work different and change things up a bit than what I've done for the last 20 years. Because I feel like whatever's carried me for these 20 years has been good enough till now, but I feel like things can get better. So I think this coming many years is going to see a difference, a change.
Right. That's all the questions I had, Regina. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, Bhuvanesh. Thank you so much for this interview. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.